Hello, I'm Sherry, and that's Nikki.
Hi, I'm Nikki. Nice,
And
nice to see and meet you, internets. And I have
this
a cold,
is,
and I'm sorry in advance if I sniffle or blow my nose.
she's gross.
I'm a little gross.
But we're here today to talk about, we're going to do a joint review on our friend Bev Prescott's book, Blowback.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Um, we're
Excellent
going to
cover.
It is a very nice cover. Before we get started with the review, though, I do want to give a disclaimer because normally we don't review works of our friends, and Bev is a friend of ours. We
Yeah.
love Bev very, very much. Um, the reason that we're doing this review when we normally wouldn't is because Bev specifically asked us to. Because she knows that we're going to be really honest about how we feel about the book, like we were with her previous book. And you know, we posted a review on C Spot Reviews that wasn't really glowing, and so Bev asked us to review this one to share our thoughts with all of you in an honest way, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
We love
So
being honest.
we do love being honest, and sometimes it creates problems for us, um, but that's also why folks tend to kind of trust that we're not going to point them in the direction of a poorly written book. So,
Well, at least we hope so.
yes. Okay, so to give you a little information about what Blowback is about, I'm just going to read the blurb because it's just easier that way right now. Oh, just so you know, I finished the book this afternoon, and Nikki also just finished it this afternoon
I
too.
did, like, a
So
few hours ago.
yeah, so everything's
It's
still really
fresh.
fresh.
Yes.
Okay, so well, I'll just kind of review the thing here. Okay, so
Boring.
so what so what the book is about is it's about a family in Maine whose primary occupation over for the last couple of generations has been um, lobster fishing, right? Um, the main character Megan Blaney is a cook who is taking care of her disabled father, a retired lobsterman. Um, and she lives in a very small house with her father and her partner Lauren and her sort of recently released from prison brother Scott. Oh, my
Hi,
dog is barking.
Dusty.
Yeah. Um, and there's a lot of stress and tension in this family for a lot of reasons. Um, Megan's not real happy with her job. I mean, she likes it fine. Her partner is not happy at all. Lauren is a school teacher and a track coach, um, and she is really unhappy with the fact that she and Megan have they have no life together. Their entire lives revolve around taking care of other people. Megan taking care of other people, and Lauren not really getting any of her needs met. Um, then we have the brother who is doing his best to get back on the straight and narrow so that he can get joint custody of his son, Jared. Um, and really all of these things are just really weighing down on Megan, and I don't know, is there anything else that we should talk about in the very beginning?
Well, there's a lot of really complicated family dynamics because, I mean, the brother is like the typical screw up. The dad, him and his dad do not have a good relationship, and that increases the tension in the family, which makes it even worse, especially since, yeah, they're all under the same roof, and also they all kind of dislike each other, and Lauren is just kind of there being like, ugh, why can't this just stop? All of it just stop. So that
Yeah,
makes it a little bit worse.
it does, and there's there's definite favoritism between Megan's father, who really seems to respect Megan and Lauren and has this tremendous. I don't know. He's just such a bastard
He,
when it comes to Scott.
he's not a good person.
No.
I don't like the father.
um, and I think one of the things that you and I kind of talked about with let's talk about the characters, and how they were written.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we wouldn't go into all of these things, I don't think, in just a standard quick review. But because it's Bev and she kind of asked us for this kind of stuff, we're going to go into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And also, there's a lot of spoilers, so we can't really go into that stuff.
Yes,
so we
there's
can,
a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers.
So there could be, but we are not going to give any.
No.
Well, I guess we can really quick. This is not a romance at all, right? There's tension and some drama between Megan and Lauren. Because of their living situation and the fact that Megan continues, in Lauren's mind, to put her family, her brother and her father, their needs over Megan's own needs and also over Lauren's needs. So that's where the relationship drama comes in, but that is definitely not the focal point of this book. The focal point of the book is really on guns and how they can affect people's lives. I did see, when I was looking around at later this afternoon at what other people were saying, I did see one person said that it did feel a little preachy. I didn't really feel that way. I mean, the big point of the book was to get the conversation about guns in America and our relationship with guns, to get that conversation started, and I think that's exactly what this book has done, and I hope that it continues to get that out. I thought Bev did a really good job of laying out the fact that lots of people have guns, and lots of people are fine with having guns, and not everybody, ends up with these kinds of tragedies. She's not anti-gun. Yeah. But in this particular situation, some bad things happen with guns.
And she shows really well, like, how the actual laws can allow things to slip through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
That, if there were harsher gun controls, that it would be harder for that to happen. Would it still happen? Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, it still would. Yeah.
Shows how there's so many holes in the system to where this can happen pretty easily, to where people can get a hold of guns that, they don't know where it came from, and the middlemen don't know where it came from, and, so it just kind of follows along this weird trajectory to get to a dangerous place that nobody ever intended for it to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is how it happens.
Yeah. I think one of the big things that she works to get across, and I think she definitely does a good job of doing that, is that bad things don't happen just when bad people have guns. Bad things can happen when good people have guns too. There were a few lines that I ended up highlighting, that really drove this point home. Okay, so there's a lot of gun stuff in this, but that's not all that there is.
No, it's mostly about the families and their relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
also,
it really is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the characters a bit. Mm-hmm. The main character that you get to have 2 points of view in the book. You get Megan's point of view, and then you also get Scott's point of view, her brother, but not as much. There's not as much of his point of view. Enough to eventually make him, I thought, a sympathetic character who who I felt like I understood the choices that he was making. He had bad choices. Oh, Nikki's camera went. Oh, there it is again. Okay, so
oh yeah, we're having a thunderstorm right now, so you might see me flicker.
Awesome. So he doesn't really start off as a sympathetic character. He kind of comes off as a selfish. Well,
yeah, I
selfish.
wanted to smack him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, you're making every mistake that you could possibly make, and you're doing it for your own good, not really for your family's good.
Yeah.
Even though you're pretending like it's for your family's good.
I think you and I may not see that totally in this. I think that he did have good intentions.
Yeah.
I think he had good intentions the whole way through. I don't think he had very good execution of those intentions.
No, his execution was poor.
Yes, it was. So you have Scott, who's, like we said earlier, kind of this general fuck up who, no matter what he does, he just can't seem to catch a break. But his sister never loses faith in him. Everybody else, you're a piece of shit, you're a liar, you're a felon, you've done all these bad things, you're still messing everything up. And Megan never faltered in her support of him.
Yeah, because she always promised her mother that I will always take care of him.
Oh, that's right, and
she always will.
To make it a little sadder, the mom had died when they were kids. So I mean, the feel of this book is dark and heavy. If you're in a bad place, this isn't the one that you want to pick up and read. If
you want something light and fluffy,
yeah,
you might want to look to the side.
Yeah, put it away for when you're in a better
one for
place.
next month.
You're right.
Yes.
The character Lauren, the partner. There was a part toward the beginning of the book when I did not like her. I wanted to punch her right in the face. But I got over that pretty quickly, and she grew on me a bit.
Yeah, towards the end, I really did like her a lot.
Yeah. But she's not really, we really don't get to know much about her. She's really kind of in the background. We really don't know much about, who she is, where she comes from. We see her through Megan's eyes, which is, totally love-struck. Even when I didn't like her for the things that she was doing, Megan she's the most beautiful woman ever. I love her so much. She's still the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to hit you.
But it's also problematic because you're coming into their relationship. The first thing that you see of it as is they're already on the road to unhappiness.
Yeah.
So that kind of paints you against her a little bit because you get into it and you don't have the background, so you're like, oh God, she's being, ugh. But then if you think about how they've been living for a while, it makes sense how she is responding to the situation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and it's like, for a while I'm just reading, I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like, everything that possibly could go wrong for this woman seems to be going wrong for her. She's really caught in the middle of everything. And she
feels like she has to fix everything.
Yeah, she really, and I think she brought a lot of that on herself. Because, which is one of the problems that Lauren had, is that, you don't let me in. You don't talk to me about what you're going through. All she sees is, Megan continuing to stick up for her brother, even when, everybody thinks that he's lying about stuff. Even when he is lying, and it's obvious that he's lying, she's still, supportive and standing up for him. The last main character, there's some other characters in there. Like Winfred, this retired dude who I did not like, and there's
I didn't really like him either.
Could make me I could not like him. So the biggest character is Megan, and I just kind of, I mean, I didn't like fall in love with Megan, but um, I just wanted to scoop her up and
I know,
hold
I wanted to
her.
hug her. I was just like, everything will be better, I think.
I know. And then as things continue to not be better, I'm like, oh, why can't they be better?
I know.
What can I do to help?
Just give her a day of sunshine.
She wants to run. Let her run away. Damn you,
Just
Ben.
let her run away, just go on vacation.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I found myself thinking about her hours after I had put the book down.
Mhm.
I'm still, I don't know. I think Bev wrote her so well
Mhm.
that for me, she really did take on a life, and
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
And
cry.
when things go crazy, like I felt it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt everything, and I think that's because she did such a good job making me connect with her. Even though throughout the book I would be like, "Oh my God, you really just need to talk to somebody about this because
Like, why can't
this is
they
more
go
than you
to
can
family
handle."
therapy?
Yes, somebody go to therapy, any of you.
All of
But
them
I was like,
together.
I know. But then I was like, but even then, I still cared about her, and I think that's a testament to how she was able to write such an emotional connection with the reader,
Yeah,
which
I
was
think
really
it's
good.
been a while since I felt that kind of a connection with a character in a novel. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, and yeah, I mean the rest of the characters didn't come close
Mhm.
to that level of connection. Um, like when she started stressing out, I mean, even just something
Mhm.
like general small anxiety, I could feel it in my chest. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So okay,
Yeah.
so we both agree the Megan character was just fantastically written.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Yes.
Um, and I know that there's one thing that you wanted to touch on specifically. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Because I was the reviewer on the Step Into the Wind, and one of the things that I found that really needed work on that was ease of dialogue. Because
Mhm.
I felt like the conversations that the characters have always felt a little bit stilted and not really um, natural, and there wasn't really a flow to the conversations. And I gotta say that she upped her game on this book, and the dialogue was fantastic.
It
I mean, there were a
was.
lot of sometimes there were phrases that were like repeated unnecessarily, but like overall, the flow of the conversations were all very believable, and that was such a huge improvement over her last book. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really was. It was a big
Mm-hmm.
difference. Um, and I had felt the same way when I read Step Into the Wind. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that, for folks who aren't aware, Nikki and I talked about it a lot. There was a lot of agonizing going on because, again,
Mm-hmm.
Bev is a friend of ours,
Mm-hmm.
but if we're asked for honest opinions, that's what we're going to give.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the dialogue on this one, I mean, you could, it was just natural and flowing. And
Mm-hmm.
you brought up the other thing that I wanted to bring up, because I know a lot of authors take hits for issues that really don't belong to them, that really belong to the editing team of whatever their publisher is, if or if they're a self-published person, a self-published author, goes to whoever they hired to edit. Please always hire an editor. Don't
Yes.
think that you can do it on your own, because you can't.
No, it's
Um,
impossible.
yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to, and this cost, when I posted my review on Amazon and Goodreads, I took off a good chunk for this, and that's the editing. There were typos. There were, like you said, there was repeated things. There were inconsistencies in word usage, things like that. Granted, for a lot of readers, that doesn't matter, and that's awesome. That's awesome for you if that doesn't matter. For a reader like me, it matters a lot because it pulls me out of the story, and I can't help but notice these things. So for me, it may be a bit more like when Nikki and I were reading. She sent me a text that said, there are some inconsistencies, there are some repeated things that's going to bother you a lot as you get going.
Yeah, because like I notice them, but then normally once I get into the story, like they kind of go off in like white noise, and I don't really notice it that much if I'm really invested in the story. I mean, I still notice them, and sometimes I'm just like, I think you're missing a "the" in there. But Sherry will be like, no, it's. She will always see it. It'll be like a red flashing light.
They are. But again, unfortunately, it's and okay, I don't want to blow it out of proportion because I mean it's not horrible. Okay, there were some places.
No, it's really not.
No, it wasn't. Like there were a few places where the spelling of Megan changed. Something like that is going to jump out at me, every single time.
The point is that should have jumped out to an editor.
Right. That's right. Yeah. So I've not honestly I haven't seen that mentioned by anybody else, and we've got a conversation going on about the book on Goodreads. I've seen the reviews on Amazon that I read right before we started recording, and on the reviews on Goodreads. I've not seen a single person say anything about the editing. So that just goes to show how important it is. There's a spectrum. I'm just way over here.
Yeah. I'm a little bit farther over, but I'm kind of on that side.
Yeah. Okay.
But overall, it was a really good book.
Really good.
I'm very glad I read it. I'm glad I had the opportunity. Thank you for writing it, Bev. And thank you for working so hard on it because it really, really showed.
It does.
And the execution, the character development, the dialogue, everything was just really, really, it was an interesting story, and once it got going, it really pulled me in, and I couldn't stop, especially towards the end. Like, I was knitting while I was doing it. I was like this, and I screwed up, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I think if Step Into the Wind had a good story, and I enjoyed the story.
Mm-hmm. It had a good message in it also, same as this book. They both had really good messages in it.
Yeah, Bev doesn't seem to write stories that are like your average happy-go-lucky romance. She really seems to. She's a very serious person, so I think that comes through.
She thinks things through a lot. So I think that it works to her benefit to be able to delve into this and really take an issue that she's really interested in and think about how it can affect everyday people that you would meet in your daily lives.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good.
There's no independently wealthy people. You know, everybody is struggling with something, and not your standard, I'm just a love, whatever, I lost my girlfriend, not to minimize, losing your girlfriend, it sucks. But there's always some kind of, psychological family type stress going on. So, but anyway, I think if you read Step Into the Wind and you really enjoyed that book, you're gonna fucking love this one. I love this book. Yeah. So okay, well I think we've probably rambled on a lot. Nikki seems to be losing her power in video every once in a while, so I guess we should probably wrap it up.
But I'm still here right now, right? I'll wave on here.
What? Are you gone?
Oh, am I back?
What? You're back. Okay, well, let's wrap this up. Okay, so
let's wrap it before I get another thunderstrike.
Okay, go buy this book. It was really good. Goodbye.
It was really good.